Number 8, The Big O.
Remember back when I did that video of Batman the Animated Series and I talked about how it influenced an anime series? Well, this is it, and honestly, you can really see it. If you look at the art, it is dark and very film noir. And the main character is Batman with a giant robot. Not that giant robot, that's a... No! Stupid piece of shit. Anyways. Our plot is basically a young man named Steve Rogers is a negotiator for a city that has completely lost its memory several years ago after a big war. And no one's more devastated than the old people. However, random giant robots and monster attacks happen in the city, and, well, it's up to Steve Rogers to prevent it. And I'm not kidding when I say that this is Batman, the anime version. I mean, it's all there. He wears black, he has a butler, and who is awesome, totes around a machine gun. Now, one of the more interesting characters in this series is actually the android, Dorothy. She comes off as so cold and unfeeling, but she has a lot of emotion that's invoked in that coldness. And it's really weird, but it really works well. Dan Dustin's another really interesting character in this series because he's, well, essentially Commissioner Gordon, but he has more to him than really any kind of commissioner character I've really seen. There's so much going on in his background that really isn't told. Now, as the story goes on, it gets a lot darker and it gets far more entertaining. I actually have to admit, when I first saw this series, it was on Toonami, and they edited a lot of stuff out, and gotta be honest, I really didn't like the show. Then I caught it again on the Adult Swim, and with all the stuff added back in, the show blew my mind. It is by far one of the best giant robot series I've seen in a long time. And, you know, you should really watch it. It's just that good. Alright, you want me to say it, don't you? Alright, the other reason why it's on this frickin' list is because it's called The Big O, and that's a nickname of mine, so I feel like it was made especially for me. Are you happy now?
Number 7, Black Heaven.
This is one of the reasons why this video was so delayed. I had pretty much finished the script, and, well, I was going through my DVD collection again and remembered this series. And honestly, I can't believe that I forgot it. I mean, originally I had Wolf's Rain in this spot, but after weighing the two, I don't own Wolf's Rain. I love the series. It's a really great series, and you definitely should check it out. But after weighing it, I had to put this on here. And don't worry, I will be looking at Wolf's Rain at some point, just not now. Now, Black Heaven is about a man named Omki who, well, was the lead guitarist of the metal band that was very popular in Japan called Black Heaven. However, it's not about him as a rock star, oddly enough. It's really more about his life after the limelight has faded. He has a wife, a child, and he's now a salaryman and generally just feels empty. However, this all changed when a new woman starts working at the office and invites him back to her place. Omki, thinking he's gonna get laid, and well, honestly wants some excitement in his life, goes back with her. Only to be surprised that she has his guitar waiting for him. And he picks it up and starts playing and, well, feels whole again. And honestly, the truth of the matter is that she's an alien from outer space who is fighting an intergalactic war, and their secret weapon is this guy's music. Now, despite the weird premise for the series, it's actually the closest to any actual Japanese lifestyle I've ever seen in a slice of life anime. You know, I saw these things. I saw salarymen just kind of hating their lives, them going out and drinking all night and wondering what they were doing with their life. This is the closest you'll get to seeing Japan without actually going there. I mean, it's full of repression. However, that's not the best part of the series. Really, it's honestly the opening, I think. It's actually performed by, one moment please, John Skies, that's right. Sorry, I forgot the name. John Skies, who was, well, a singer and the guitarist for such bands as Thin Lizzy, as well as Whitesnake. Yeah, he wrote and performed this opening, and it is awesome, and I hope you really like it because you will hear this song over and over again throughout the series. And I also love the opening because it looks and feels like an 80s music video, and I just never get tired of it. Anyways, Black Heaven is just one of these series you gotta pick up and watch. Especially if you're interested in Japanese society, and as well as if you're a rocker like me.
Number 6, Bakano.
Bakano takes place in the swinging 1930s. It has gangsters, immortals, and everything you could possibly want. Now, the series, to be quite honest, is broken up into 3 story arcs. And I'm going to stop using that voice now. Like I said, it's broken up into 3 story arcs. But the most important one, I think, and the one that you're probably going to like the most, is the one about the train, the Flying Pussyfoot. Yeah, I said it. Now, honestly, when I first heard about this series, I was not too excited nor really looking forward to watching it, due to the fact that I've seen a lot of animes about Japanese history that are kind of wrong and kind of sucked at it. However, this series is phenomenal. The people who did their research did it well because they have mannerisms and speech patterns down packed. However, you're gonna rarely hear me say this, but I highly recommend watching the dubbed version of this. Not only do they get the speech pattern and, you know, the mannerisms from the show, but they also add in the slang and accents and everything, and it just feels more complete that way. It's just a really great series, and you're gonna really fall in love with it if you sit down and watch it. The characters are very, very entertaining. And the other reason to really watch it in English is that the plot jumps around. You are watching, you know, I think 13 episodes, and it's not cohesive. They're telling bits and pieces of stories out of order, interchange, and intermingling with one another in an episode. So if you're watching the subtitled version, if you're not paying attention really closely, you will get lost so fast. But at the same time, you probably won't care because it's just that entertaining. And just remember that Isaac and Miria, well, they say fuck you, Logic. Fuck you.
So tonight I'll sing a song to all my friends, also to those...
Number 5, Genkutsu, or The Count of Monte Cristo.
Yes, there is an anime based off the classic novel by Alexander Dumas. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. Yeah, Genkutsu, it does take some liberties with the series. However, it is the closest adaptation of the book I have ever seen. Yes, that's right. A 26-episode, 22-minute series does a better job of telling the story of the Count of Monte Cristo than any movie I've ever seen. And the other funny thing about it is that it's from Japan. I mean, when the Japanese really feel like doing it, they are really good at paying attention to details. Now, again, they do take some liberties here and there. For example, it's in space, and the Count of Monte Cristo is a blue vampire-looking thing. However, this is just a phenomenal revenge story, and it's not really the writers, but the way that they have adapted this series into what it is. It is just fun to watch, and you will just get completely lost in it. And I don't want to say too much because, if you haven't read the book or seen the movie, there will be huge spoilers if I tell you. However, I really have to highly recommend it. The music's great. The art is just mind-blowing. Everything in the series is textured. Everything. Hair, clothes, some people's skin. I mean, all over the place. Now, this will hurt your eyes for a little bit, but my recommendation is watch like 4 or 5 episodes right in a row, and your eyes will get used to it, and you will just be blown away by this series. I mean, it is just anime at its finest. Again, if I was to be putting together a best of anime list, this will definitely would have to be within the top 5 at the least. I mean, this is just wonderful. So go and watch it.
Number 4, Furikuri.
Furikuri is an entity of itself. I mean, I've never seen a series just as weird as it. This was one of the series I first caught on the old school Adult Swim back in the day. Now, how do you explain Furikuri? I guess the best way I could explain it is just talking about a few scenes. Our series starts with our main character, Nota, who is an elementary school kid who generally hates his life. And things change for him, however, when a crazy lady named Haruko hits him with her Vespa. And right after being ran over, she hits him in the head with her bass guitar, and robots start popping out of his head. You know what? Now that I say it, it sounds kind of stupid. But it's an amazing series. It is very character-driven, and it's only 6 episodes. In 6 episodes, they do far more with the characters and their development than most 26-episode series that I have seen and that have sucked. That is amazing in and on itself. And it's one of these series that I really, if I were to have to give it a theme, I would have to probably say that the theme is growing up. Because you watch Naota grow up and become a different person. And it's just an amazing development of his character. Now, this is another series that the reason why I watch this over and over again is that every time that I watch it, I notice something new. I've had to watch this over 20 times at the least. And every time I watch it, I notice something new that adds something more to the characters. And it just becomes just that much more likable. And I stress to you, it's only 6 episodes. Now, I got my copy of Footy Cootie way back in the day when it was just 3 DVDs. And those 3 DVDs cost you $100. However, I was able to talk a dealer at an anime convention I was at down to $60 for the entire thing. $20 per DVD. That was about what DVDs were back in that day. And I don't feel like I got really ripped off. Footy Cootie has been re-released, by the way, and it's just an amazing series. If you somehow missed it, I feel very sorry for you, but you can go ahead now and pick it up. Please do. It's just insane, and you will love it.
Oh,